Vic, nice to see you, brother.
Vinny!
Back from Kansas City.
Back from Kansas City.
By the way, welcome to the Vinny and Vic show. Food, fun, Las Vegas. We're here to talk about everything. Football, obviously. I'm Vinny Bonsignore. I cover the Las Vegas Raiders for the Las Vegas Review-Journal. I also host a radio show on Raider Nation Radio, the morning tailgate from 7 to 10 a.m. You know how difficult it is sometimes? Waking up, it's not 7. 7's when I got to go on.
Right. You got to get ready.
You got to get ready. Got to get prepped. Got to wake up.
Vin,
Crying out loud.
What if you stay up late the night before?
Which is pretty often, but I am learning sleep is important.
And ladies and gentlemen, I am Chef Vic Vegas from Bar Rescue. I assist John Taffer in fixing restaurants nationwide and dealing with very interesting people in that process.
Yes, he does.
Yes.
And we are getting into that more and more. I feel like it's pulling back a little bit of an onion with you, Vic, because I watch that show and there's an emotion to that show. There's a passion, there's an energy, and and I've asked you this. How much of it is produced and how much of it is real? Because there are some reality shows that are, like, it's hard for me to believe, but I believe you, taking your word for it, and I do earnestly believe you.
I'm a spokesperson for that show.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, the level sometimes of ineptness and the hole that some of these restaurant owners and bar owners, I should say, have fallen into. You wonder, okay, how much of this is contrived? But I also know, talking to restaurateurs and bar owners, it's a very, it's a high wire act, is what I'm saying, right?
It's crazy, man. It's absolutely crazy. Like, you have to understand, the gray cloud, once it's over the establishment, does not leave until, like, you do an exorcism. You know what I'm saying? For the most part.
Right.
Meaning, like, depending on, why you're in the hole, some stuff is almost irreversible, so you do need an implosion to rebuild.
I like that, and that happens in sports sometimes. You got to hit rock bottom. Yes, exactly. You got to hit rock bottom,
right,
before the rebirth can actually happen.
And that's what happens before your eyes in a short amount of time. That is the significance.
You got to also be willing to make the changes, the necessary changes, because I think a lot of times we all kind of fall into this trap sometimes. We think we have the answers, and we think that our way is the way.
Right.
And having the flexibility or the wherewithal or the foresight, the understanding to say, hey, maybe I'm not right, and maybe I do need some help. That's probably 80%, 60% of the battle.
Right. No, it really is. You notice what happens a good portion of the time. People find their guilt, truth, and then they own it. When that happens, that's very easy for us. On few occasions, they didn't.
They won't.
They won't.
What do you? There's so many parallels here between what I do covering a professional football team, and I've covered sports my entire life, basically my entire adult life.
You're a sports Jedi, brother.
You know what I'm saying? And you see, I've covered every arc. I've covered championship teams. I've covered teams that have been, by the mid-season are completely out of it. And there's common denominators that go beyond just talent, and sometimes talent acquisition is also, what are they doing up top? Are they making the right decisions at that level? Scouting the right players, putting the right players together, and then it all kind of comes together or doesn't, on the field. And I see so many parallels between sports and success in sports and failure in sports and organizations and teams to what you're seeing all the time.
All the time, and even in the regular day-to-day, the restaurant business is tough.
And competitive.
During dinner time, it's like, it can get into like 4th and 30.
Right, real quick.
Yes.
And you see it, like, lined up, I'm sure.
And then the chef has to duck back.
Right.
And throw to the sous
Whose
chef.
fault does that usually come down to?
No, it's nobody's fault. It's the business. What happens is, Vin, in a busy establishment, they got to take their customers. They got to seat. They got to space it out.
Right.
You got to turn over a table and get another one in. That's the business.
Right.
But what happens is, back in the kitchen, it gets so full. Sometimes it becomes 4th and 30, 4th and 40,
Right.
but then chef steps back,
Right.
either hands it off to the broiler man or hands it off to the sous chef, and, either catches up or goes down.
Have you ever dined in Europe? Have you ever dined in Italy?
I have not went to Italy yet.
What?
No, Vin, I have not left the country.
Camera on me right now. Really? Okay.
Really? I've been working on becoming a chef. It takes many years.
Yes. Okay, we're going to get you somehow, some way to Europe, especially Italy. And here's the reason why. You talk about 4th and down 30 where you got a full house. It's crazy. You're, like you said, you're trying to flip them over, the table's over to bring the next guest in. In Italy, they don't rush you. There's no rushing at all. They want you to eat. That's why it's usually a multi-coursed meal. They love the interaction, the talking, the enjoying of the moment. There's never any sense that they're trying to get you out of there to, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's weird how that's how they handle it. In America, it's a lot of...
But no, there's a difference. Italy Italian and New York Italian. We
Yeah.
walk a lot faster, brother.
Right?
It's the chock full of nuts coffee, bro.
Yeah, it truly is. And the dining experience, is just completely different. I would love to see your show go to Europe, and maybe,
Do pump rescue?
right, exactly, because
You ain't talking to me like that, tougher.
right, the dynamics would be completely different. But getting back to what we were talking about, when you talk about a chef, a bartender, or whatever, it becomes overwhelming, and now it's 4th and forever, and you got to play a little bit of catch up and get it back on track. And I wasn't trying to point fingers, but it's just sort of the nature of how things can go.
It is, great restaurants get absolutely slammed.
Yeah.
And then when you get into fine dining, there's more elements and levels to the food and layers that you have to complete before it goes out.
All right, so I did work at a couple of restaurants in my younger life.
Oh, okay. 4th episode when now we're learning that.
Right, okay, so I'm working at a pizzeria. All right, Santino's Pizzeria.
A Vinny and a pizzeria.
Yeah, all right, exactly.
That's
Who
never
figured that never has happened. So it's called Santino's. It's in Ventura, California, and it's like a Thursday night, right? And we're scheduled to close around 10 p.m. And you know how it is. You're simultaneously serving, cooking, cleaning up.
One-man band.
And we had a little crew. So everyone's doing their thing, cleaning up, prepping for the next day. All of that.
Family owned?
Yes, it was.
Oh, geez. Everybody's doing everything.
Everyone's doing everything. And it's probably around 9:45. This goes back to you're a restaurant. You're trying to make money, obviously. So you have to serve your customers.
What time you close?
10.
Oh, yeah.
It's 9:45. I'm already thinking, all right,
The cooks are starting to wipe.
what are we doing tonight? We're going to go hit the town.
Mentally checking out.
Yeah. A softball tournament, local softball tournament comes walking in at the end of their night to get a bunch of pizzas.
Hi. $500 in revenue.
Yes.
What you gonna do?
Yes, exactly. So it's a good 30, 40 people. Boom. It just completely overwhelmed. And of course, you got to stay open at that point. How are you going to explain to the owners the next day?
No question.
Right. So fourth down happened in a hurry, and it just the whole dynamic, because it was kind of a slow night.
Bomb.
Yes.
Caught.
And you have to do it.
Touchdown.
Right. Exactly. And you have to execute, and you have to get over the frustration of, I guess I'm not getting off at 10 p.m. That's cool, and make it happen. So you have to adjust sort of on the fly sometimes.
But your owners generated more income to keep the payrolls going and keep people working. So in a way, you did get it back.
No doubt about it.
That's how I look at it, being an
remember seeing a
operator.
raise.
No raise, but no layoffs.
Exactly. And I
You may not
get
see
that.
the gift.
No, you're right.
It may be dormant.
It might. Yeah, that gift just was you staying employed.
Right.
And you just have to kind of deal with that.
Yeah, you got to kind of go with that, Vin.
So, trusting the process and, staying the course and all that. I bring that up because I just got back from Kansas City.
How was that?
I love Kansas City, by the way. Have you been to Kansas City?
Did you? Oh, yeah.
I ate pretty good, yeah.
I did a rescue in Kansas City.
Oh, okay. All right. So yeah, Kansas City is one of my favorite places to go visit. I like Kansas City. I like the vibe there, downtown Kansas City. I actually stayed in the Country Club Plaza section of Kansas City, which it's a great little area that was actually built and developed in like 1902, somewhere around there.
Got some history.
Oh yeah, definitely. So, but the game. Got to talk about the game. The Raiders competed, played probably their best game of the season.
We got a good team, bro.
From top to bottom.
We got a good team.
You still think that?
I know that. Like, okay, what happened. We'll get to that. But you got to be good to play that other team there,
right,
and have that score.
Right.
You ain't no joke.
No. Yeah, the Raiders had the ball to potentially win it at the very end of the game.
I didn't get that.
Okay, so
happened?
let's start. Let's just jump right into.
Just go to it.
All right, so
elephant in the room.
Earlier, before as we were prepping for the show, you had said, you had alluded to. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you had alluded to. I had to kick the extra point. You wouldn't go for the 2
because I'm the Raiders, and they have went for the 2 and got that sucker so many damn times. 51% of me would have went for it, but Carr is also good enough to tie it and come back.
Right.
No offense against Daniel Jones, my quarterback,
right. Hey,
but he's not Daniel
Giants
Jones.
are 4-1.
I know, but it's not Daniel Jones that's 4-1.
Right, that's true. All right, so you're saying that you would have tied it up, taking your chances, tying it up, and I don't think there's. I think it's funny because people were saying a lot of the general assumption was Josh McDaniels, the head coach of the Raiders, was essentially conceding, I don't think my defense is very good, so I'm going to try to get the lead here and then hope for the best afterwards. I actually think the opposite. I actually felt like he was confident that the defense was going to get him the ball back. He had 3 timeouts left, plus the 2-minute warning. So
timeouts.
The clock was going to stop a minimum of 4 times, and that doesn't even account for plays that go out of bounds where the clock naturally stops. I think he felt like, if I get the lead, great. If I tie it, okay, I could have done that. If I don't have the lead and I'm down by 1, all of those scenarios are going to require the defense having to make a stop regardless to win it. Whether it's stopping the Chiefs from kicking a game-winning field goal down by 1, whether it's stopping the Chiefs kicking a field goal tied, or if you fall behind, which is what happened, getting the ball back to get a chance to score again, all right? At some point, the Raiders' defense was going to have to make a stop, and he believed that would happen. And guess what? That is exactly what happened. The Raiders got the ball back with plenty of time left to drive to go kick a game-winning field goal. It didn't happen because of a couple of glitches here and there, but the scenario that he thought was going to be possible to him, my defense is going to get a stop, there's going to be enough time to get in field goal range to kick either a tie game-winning field goal or down by 1 field goal. All of that was available to him. So the decision actually worked the way he thought it was going to work, which is why I think that he thought the defense, he actually had confidence in the defense, not a lack of confidence.
Right.
Can you tell that I'm a writer?
Yeah, Vin, that was like what am I going to say now about that? You know, because when it happened, I think I was in the percentile that went, oh my God.
Right. What are you doing?
What are you doing?
Yeah.
We're almost there. You guys, KC and KC, you guys. That's legendary.
Tie the game up.
No matter what happens in the next few games, you win right now. Oh my God.
Yes. Now, so yeah, that was a decision that even though it could have gone either way, I mean, I would have been, I wouldn't have questioned no matter what they did. I think, he's trying to be aggressive, trying to get the lead, trying to force the Chiefs to play a certain way and hoping that the defense is going to make a stop one way or another. All right, so there's that. Did you watch the entire game? Were you
bits and pieces because I was working?
Okay,
but I try to watch the Vegas games.
Yeah. So I mean, I think if you're looking at big picture, and Vic is on record as saying the Raiders are a good football team.
Definitely, I think they are, man. I'm telling you. Derek Carr is one of those quarterbacks where he's always like 2-3 players away from the big wins,
Yeah.
man. He give him 2-3 more guys,
Right.
2-3 more weapons. He can handle that.
Yeah.
Dude can handle the ring.
I agree.
He could.
Yeah, and I think that
100%.
I think in spite of the record, they're moving in the right direction. I'll throw something out at you. So the Raiders are 1-4 right now.
I know.
I'm going to name a team last year that started. I'm not going to say the name of the team just yet.
Oh God,
started
I feel
2-5, 2-5, and made the playoffs. Team by the name of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh,
All right, and you obviously know.
I have to watch them.
Right, and they're great now.
Right.
You know what they
they're
did?
very
They
good.
stayed the course. They didn't freak out. They had a new coach,
Yeah.
a new head coach. They had a new defensive coordinator, a new system. Jalen Hurts was in his second year, but kind of
Alabama quarterback, second
Yes,
year,
Right, kind of new to the whole thing, under a new coach.
but still Alabama quarterback.
Yes, and it took him a while though.
Yeah, but once he got it, he got it.
Right. Once they got it, once the team got it,
He looks like he belongs.
he does. I have a lot of. We talked about Jalen, didn't we?
Yeah.
I'm
I'm dreading him. I got to see him twice, man.
Oh yeah, yeah. I like where the Giants have played.
Yeah. We
They've
beat
shown-
Green
I think-
Bay, man.
Right. In London.
In London.
I like the coach. I like Brian Dable. I think coaching matters. You know, sometimes I think there's this, like the Giants have gone through some coaches since the Super Bowl.
McAdoo.
Yeah, Ben McAdoo.
He was still funny.
The guy, the Judge. What was it, Coach Judge?
Joe Judge.
Joe Judge.
I thought Joe Judge was like, whip him into shape kind of guy. No.
You know, whipping him into the shape, that whole thing, nonsense.
I know, but
At this level.
But we didn't have the tough, snappy coach.
Yeah, you had the guy who tried to look it. Ben McAdoo changed his entire appearance.
He's like, all right, guys.
Yeah.
It's like, damn.
Right. You know what you need? You need somebody that can teach it, coach it, draw it up. You have to inspire. There's no doubt there's some inspiration. Yeah, but more than that, buy-in. Getting players to buy into what you're doing. Because by the time you get to the NFL or have spent some time within it, you've seen it, done it, this scheme, this play, that play. Give me a reason to believe in what you're doing. And if you can get that from your players, and obviously you need talent, but I don't even think they're a great talent team right now.
Right.
I think that's a process that's going to have to unfold over the course of time.
Right.
But the buy-in, they've bought into what Brian is selling.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I agree. I'm watching it.
I can
enjoying
tell.
it.
I'm reading right through you right now. This is a cautiously optimistic Giants fan right now because he's been burnt so many times. Even though you've won 2 Super Bowls,
It's been a minute.
it's been a minute.
We went from winning to
Right.
not even like,
No, it's like I wouldn't say laughing stock, but it's been. What the hell happened to the Giants?
yeah, well, it's like, I love Eli, but it's like Eli's done. Eli, one more year, and then Eli goes, and then we get Daniel Eli Jones.
Right. Yeah, but not the finished product.
Not yet. We get Daniel Eli Jones.
Do you believe that he's the guy?
Then,
He just did this. He went,
okay. I believe this is the year with the correct coaching where the truth will come out.
oh, definitely.
We will know
That's important.
exactly who Daniel Jones is by the end of this year.
Right.
Then I will answer. I can't answer because he's a good kid. He seems good at what he does.
Yeah.
He runs it. At least he runs more than Eli.
Right.
So I'm not against Daniel Jones, but this is a lot. This is the year that we will all answer the question on Daniel Jones, including Daniel.
Right. And now here's the tricky part. There's a good chance it might be no.
I know.
Okay. Now, if it's a no, then you got to find the guy that answers that question definitively with a yes. And there's no guarantee. There's no guarantee that you're going to get a guy that even is at Daniel Jones's level right now. You know what I'm saying? So
The new trend, though, seems to be veteran at the end buffer until
Yes.
we get someone.
right, the getting someone is so.
Like, you never know. We may get like an Aaron Rodgers left turn.
He could.
Yeah.
You think about the Green Bay Packers there for a second. They went from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers. Who does that? Who gets that lucky with their quarterbacks?
Yep. No one. Them.
The Chargers. Okay, 2 teams that kind of. The Chargers went from Dan Fouts to Stan Humphries, who took them to the Super Bowl, by the way, for briefly. Then they went through like a little bit of a transition where it was Drew Brees,
right,
and Phillip Rivers, and they chose Phillip Rivers. They stuck with Phillip Rivers, and that, which I don't know. I guess you could have one or the other, or whatever. You know, both of those guys are pretty good. But that's a pretty good.
Phil was dependable.
Justin Herbert.
Oh, that guy.
Okay, so that's a pretty good little quarterback lineage. The Colts went from Peyton Manning to Andrew Luck. And that blew up in their face.
I met Luck. He was a nice guy.
He's a good guy,
yeah.
But he just abruptly left.
And
now they've been just like, they went from like Peyton to the number 1 pick overall, which is Andrew Luck, this once in a decade kind of a quarterback.
They needed to leave Wentz there.
Oh, wow.
Yes. They needed to leave him there. One more year.
Okay.
One more year.
Yeah.
He kind of like woke up Indianapolis a little bit, being on that team, man.
Yeah.
A little bit of a revival. I would have gave him another shot. So you're saying that Daniel Jones is better than Carson Wentz?
Yes. Now he is. Yeah. I think. Yes. I don't know by how much, to be honest with you.
It's close.
But I wouldn't touch Carson Wentz with the 10-foot pole. I just don't. There's something that's not like the Eagles, get rid of him. The Colts 1 year. Now the Washington, this is going to be a one and done with Washington.
Right.
There's, and I've heard, I'm not saying that he's a bad person or anything like that. Something doesn't click with him when it comes to, especially with teammates. Like some of the.
Really, he doesn't gel with his team. Damn it, that's important.
Oh,
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Vin, you would know more than anybody in this whole property right now what teammates gel and who don't.
Right.
If he makes things difficult behind the scenes with the guys.
And it's a not. I don't think it's like a.
You're a
blatant,
quarterback. You're a quarterback.
Yeah. You got to be a leader.
You got to kind of be,
You got to be a man about the people. You also have to be the leader. You have to be somebody that they're going to believe in. And there's certain people. There's certain guys that just aren't good at that, and that sometimes rubs people the wrong way. It grinds, and we talked about the buy-in factor. If you don't believe in your quarterback, it's not a good team.
Right.
But getting back to the Raiders, they're on the bye week this week.
Okay, a little rest.
Be able to kind of regroup. They have a favorable schedule coming up. They play Houston Texans out of the break. Then New Orleans and Jacksonville back-to-back. Those are 2 winnable games. They got the Colts then, a team that I think that they're better than right now. And then I think it goes Denver, Seattle. So they've got a chance.
Let me second this then.
Yeah.
In a question. What do you think their final ... will be?
Ooh. Okay. I'm going to go out on a limb right now. First of all, let's back that up just 1 second. We'll get to there. I think they're gonna come out of this next stretch. What are they, 1-4?
Gonna catch up a little.
I think they're gonna get to 7-5. 7-5 is 12. That's 12. There's 17 games. That leaves 5 games left. So they're gonna put themselves in position to make a run. At 7-5, you can. At 7-5, if you get on another little roll, you could end up 12 and.
I don't doubt that. You know what? They almost beat the Chiefs in KC. Like, if you can do that, you know what, Vin? You're probably.
If they could get to 7-5 and give them, and here's the thing about the coaches, Josh McDaniels, he comes to the Patriots. The Patriots do that sometimes too. They've had seasons that, if you look back, where they kind of are. They take that first month or so to sort of figure out what works, what doesn't work. They may lose a game here and there as a result of that discovery process.
Right.
And then when they figure it out, then they're ready to go and they're ready to roll. I'm wondering if the Raiders are going to kind of follow that little path.
Again, if you see how they're losing, like they're not like getting like wasted.
No.
That's pretty inspirational.
Right. It's not a.
They're a good team.
They're of the games that you've watched. Have they been prepared? They've been prepared, right, to play games. When you look at their talent, they're not getting the doors blown off. So obviously, talent-wise, they're competing with all these teams. Those are 2 very important elements to have in your favor.
We got to focus a little bit on defense next year. You think?
Oh, for the draft, yeah. The draft, no doubt about it. They're 8th in the league in scoring, which is pretty damn good. They're 28th in terms of giving up points. So they're averaging 25-ish or 26-ish, and they're giving up roughly the same amount of points. So that's got to somehow, some way, that's got to change. Where if they could get the defensive part of it down to about 21 points a game, 22 points a game, and the offense, I think, is going to continue to get better, then I think they'll be in good shape down the stretch. So obviously, you probably can't tell, but we're in Las Vegas. This is the Rockstar Bar and Grill. We want to say thank you to the great hospitality here.
Always.
We're right on the Las Vegas Strip. Everyone thinks of the Las Vegas Strip as down that way, which is where all the hotels and all the casinos are. But there's also this part of the Strip, which I love. They got the Town Square Center right now.
We share it. The tourists share it with the locals.
Right,
you know?
exactly.
Yeah, it's pretty it's like the equator almost.
Right?
That's why I love Town Square, because it's for the locals, and
yes, exactly.
you want to come on down?
Right.
Come on down.
Do some shopping. There's also another, not too far from here, there's an outlet mall. You an outlet mall guy?
I am an outlet mall guy. You know, it's always cool to, even stop at the one on Barstow on the way into
definitely.
LA.
Yes.
We go visit the
That's
motherland.
a must.
But yeah, no, I do. I like to go visit the outlets. You never know what's going to show up there.
Right.
Plus, it's nice to walk by the kiosks in the middle.
Yes.
Get a head scratcher.
As you can probably tell, as Spirit Airlines interrupts us right now, they're taking some more. They're going west, so either California or
Spirit Airlines, home of the $1.99 can soda.
That's right. That's right.
That's what it is.
Yeah. They definitely provide a service. So we're over by the airport as well.
Yes.
Beautiful driving range. You can probably hear behind us.
Sunset in Vegas, safe to say?
Sunset in Vegas. A lot of people hitting some golf balls right now, working on their game. And we love them for that. We love this setting. And we're going to get into more of Las Vegas when we come back. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to get into a little bit more of Las Vegas.
All right, Cousin Ben. We'll be back. Hi, this is Chef Vic. I'm back. We took a little break. We have some football on. It is Thursday night. We are in Las Vegas. I am with brother Vinny right here, and we are eating some
Cousin
delicious
Vinny.
wings.
And Cousin Vinny. How many times I've heard that, by the way? And I'm cool with it. It's like, I love that movie.
You must hear it every day.
All the time.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting because when I was growing up, eventually became my cousin Vinny, but it was also Vinny Terranova. I don't know if you remember that show. There's a Vinny, the Bob show, but then also Vinny Barbarino.
Oh, dude, the legend.
Right?
Dude,
so I was
thank you for the compliment.
Yeah, right? Exactly.
Call me Vinny B.
Yeah, so I always tell this story too. I grew up basically in California after New York, right? So in California, you got to go miles and miles and miles to find another Vinny. Like when we moved to California, and my mom's making meatball sandwiches for school, and everyone else is eating bologna and whatever. Like we would get to the school, they're like, "What is that?" Like, what do you mean? Salami sandwich.
This is just sitting.
What
around.
are you eating over there?
What is that?
What is that garbage that you're eating? So it was kind of like that. So you have to go miles and miles to find another Vinny. When I would go back to New York to visit my cousins and my friends in New York, invariably it became, "Hey, so who are we hanging out with tonight?" Big Vinny, little Vinny, Chenzo, little Chenzo. So it's like everybody's Vinny in New York. I'm like, I'm home.
But dude, listen. Do you understand? Okay, so in the West, if you're a Vinny, it's a novelty.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
But if you're a Vinny in the East, there are millions of you.
Yeah, exactly.
But from millions of you common to a novelty.
To a total novelty. To the point where, and this is when we first got to California, but we were the Bonsignores. And to say my name correctly, it's Bonsignore. But Bonsignore.
Nice last name.
Like that was in California. It was just unheard of, And it's like you would start hearing "Ooh, are you guys in like the mob? Are you in the mafia?" Because that was like the Italian thing, and we were like, my dad would always say, maybe.
He said, "I don't know."
Yeah.
That's scarier than yes.
Exactly.
Okay.
So he would just laugh all the way to wherever, and it was like, just let him guess. Who cares? By the way, nice little. There you go. You got to, right? It's a wing.
I'm enjoying myself. This is Thursday night, brother, and I got chicken
I know we got
wings.
football. It's football fun here in Las Vegas. We're at the Rockstar Bar and Grill. We're eating some chicken wings, having some fun, talking about everything that is going on here in Las Vegas. And I got to say this, that what a growing market this is.
What a recovering fast market.
That too. Because obviously talking about the pandemic and the interruption that occurred a couple of years ago. And it was so weird, and we talked about this in one of our previous shows, just us and my family getting here. And I'm like, all right, let's, get to know this town, get to know this city, and all of a sudden the pandemic hit. We would drive down, and I'm looking literally right now at Las Vegas Boulevard, kind of the beginning part of it. Or what would this be, the first quarter?
Well, people that live out here that know this place, you're staring at Vegas Boulevard.
Right.
And I'm staring at like pre-Green Valley area.
Yeah.
We're Sunset and Vegas Boulevard.
Yeah.
You're looking west, I'm
Right.
looking east.
Right, there you go. And so this is like, there's still so much that I can see the potential here of it being developed. And by the way, not too far from here, there's going to be a basketball arena, an NBA arena. There's going to be an NBA team. I know that for a fact.
It would only be fair to us and our people.
Right, exactly. But going back to the pandemic, this thing was, and if you've been to Las Vegas and you've been to Las Vegas Boulevard, you know what that looks like and what that scene is all about. Everyone does. To have seen it,
Ghostly?
yeah.
Finn, seriously. And we always touch on this at least once because
We
it
have
was somewhat
to.
traumatic.
It's just like
It was
so
dramatic.
mind-boggling. And I would I'm going to cover the Raiders, so I have a radio show. People call me to come on their radio shows.
Right.
And during that time in 2020, people were like, what is it like? I'm like, it's insane. Like, picture this bustling, I guess New York City might have been somewhat the same, but this is like a one street sort of area here. Las Vegas, in and around it, it's a bustling, beautiful community. But obviously, when you think about Las Vegas, you think about the Strip, and it was just warded off. People were biking and walking and exercising down there. That was pretty cool.
It reminded me of like September 12th.
Yeah.
You know
I
what
wasn't
mean?
here. Yeah.
I was on the Strip as it was happening.
Wow.
Cooking in the coffee shop at what
Right.
was known as the Monte Carlo Hotel.
Right.
Yep.
Wow.
Wild. During.
Yeah. I remember getting up that morning. I was in a little better shape in those days. I was a religious workout guy. And I lived about 40 minutes from where I worked. So I worked out closer to where I worked. I would just get up super early, drive to the gym, get my workout in, then go to work at the Los Angeles Daily News. Shout out to all my friends at the LA Daily News. By 9 a.m. So I had to be at the gym about 7. That meant leaving at around 6 a.m. And I'm like in my car hearing these reports about something that happened. I'm like, what is going on? I get to the gym. I'm on my elliptical machine and I'm watching all the news reports. And I'm like, this is what's going on. And then all of a sudden, another plane hits a building. I'm like, this is not
Confirmation of it is not an accident.
right. Exactly.
The second one, the first one was like, oh no.
A mistake.
The second one was, oh.
Yes.
Beep.
This is, and I think by then, long before then, the people that knew. I have friends that were working in New York in the, agencies that they were like, we knew long before everyone else knew that something, obviously because the planes had been hijacked and all that. So I can only imagine that was just such a traumatic
Yeah,
experience.
no, I know, man.
Wow, so this was closed down.
This got very quiet.
Well, I can imagine that people were worried too, like who was going to be next.
Who is going to be next and who is getting on a plane?
Right, at this point.
Whatever the high percentages of airplanes that fill our town.
There's so many stories from that period of time. I remember, now that I'm thinking about it, working in Southern California in sports, that's a hotbed for baseball. So there's a lot of great baseball players that come out of the Southern California area.
Heck yeah.
We all understand that. So how about this? There was a picture, John Garland pitcher from San Fernando Valley Kennedy High School. He was basically, if I remember correctly, kind of either making his debut. No, he wasn't making his debut, but he was he was with the Chicago White Sox, the team that drafted him. And he was in New York on a road trip, staying at one of the hotels when all of that happened. So we're as when you work for a newspaper, you're kind of looking for local angles, and lo and behold, wow, the Yankees or the White Sox are in New York. They're playing the Yankees the next day.
Exciting.
He's got to obviously be there. So talking to him about like the surrealness of what was happening in and around him. I mean, he's a baseball player at a hotel. You normally are on a road trip, and all of a sudden this is happening. Can you imagine? So, so many stories.
Ooh.
Right?
Yeah.
You want to hear a sad story? I mean, there's a million of them.
Oh, man.
A guy by the name of Pat Kerwin works for NFL Radio. He's a former coach, scout, general manager in the NFL. And so I always get teary-eyed. I'm going to try not to get teary-eyed here. So he lived on Long Island and commuted to New York City. By this point in his career, he was working in television. All right.
Okay.
So he would commute from Long Island to the city, work for CBS, I think it was at the time. And he's like, the thing about when you travel from Long Island to New York City, you take the train, all right? So you get there early in the morning. If you have a 9-hour day, getting there at 9 o'clock. There's people drive or get dropped off, but a lot of guys drive or women too that work in New York City.
People don't understand how many hours you got to add to a New Yorker's day, but okay, go ahead.
Right, exactly. To get on the train to go to New York City, the Long Island Railroad, and there's always a pack of cars that are parked at the parking lot. All right, and so he's like, I start my work day, start hearing what's going on. Oh my gosh, blah 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 blah. It's just traumatic. Late at night, he gets on the train back home. Gets back home, and what does he see at the parking lot of his Long Island Railroad stop? A slew of cars of people that went to work and worked at the building, the Trade Center, the World Trade Center, that never came home. Oh. So these cars were cars of people that were.
And his eyes made contact with that?
And he's like, it hit home, right? So a lot of them were husbands and dads, all right, that never came home that night. So the NFL, trying to figure out ways to help, brought in a bunch of widows, but what could we do? How could we help? Yeah. And so a lot of these widows had young sons and daughters that were just getting into football age.
Okay.
And they were like, we don't know the first thing about football, and their dads have now passed away. We need help, like trying to coach them. So they got guys like Bill Walsh. Like the word went out. These moms need some help teaching their sons how to play football, and daughters too. And everyone rose to the challenge. And I want to say, so they put on clinics for these moms to help teach the
first
sons.
Responder style, but for that.
Yes.
Wow, they stepped up and became first responders in their own industry, took their gifts and shared it to comfort and ease people and to help those kids grow?
I want to say that there was a tournament or some sort of thing that years later, all those little kids grew up.
Boom.
To be really good.
Just bad to the bone, kids, because of that.
Yeah, and we're talking about some of the retired coaches that had time on their hands to say, we're there. We'll teach them. I mean,
right now.
Yeah.
No problem.
Teaching the moms, and the moms became
oh my God.
Yeah,
brother.
right?
Thank you, Vin. That was awesome.
Yeah. It's so.
That was real.
Yeah. That one always gets me, and Pat always tells that story right around 9/11. I'm sure he told it this past 9/11 or near around it.
Just a couple weeks back.
Yeah, exactly. So on a lighter note, or maybe not. Well, definitely on a lighter note. But we were talking as we were prepping for the show, talking about the game on Monday night, and there was a pivotal moment in that game, and I think Raider fans understand where I'm probably going with this. The Raiders defense holds the Chiefs. It becomes a 4th and 15 situation in Raiders territory, but it's 4th and 15. Too long to go for it. The Chiefs got to kick a field goal. All right, they're up, I think, by that point, by 1 point. All right, so they're up by 1. They got to kick a field goal. It's kind of a win for the Raiders defense because even a field goal, you can still go score a touchdown, take the lead, et cetera, et cetera. So just holding the Chiefs to the field goal at that point in the game was pretty big. Field goal unit comes out. The field goal defense comes out. Kick. Missed. Field goal is missed.
Yeah, I know.
Flag.
I saw that.
Defensive holding. Defensive holding.
I knew
on
you were going to
Malcolm
bring this
Kuntz,
up.
Number 51.
I was waiting for you.
Well, I got to bring this up because it's like it was an egregious. First of all, if you look at the replay, there really isn't a hold. It was two guys kind of jostling, kind of like you do when the quarterback takes the knee to end the game. Like, we're not going to get all physical here. It's just, how's the family? You're good. Let's pretend like, we're doing something here. But, so it was nothing. Flag, holding, Malcolm Kuntz, number 51. It's 4th and 15. It's a 5-yard penalty, but it is an automatic first down. So it goes from 4th and 15 and a missed field goal. The Raiders are taking the ball over, down by 1 in the 4th quarter with a chance to go kick a field goal to take the lead or score a touchdown to take the lead, which, by the way, they ended up scoring a touchdown on their next drive, but we'll talk about that in just 1 second. Instead of being down by 1, getting the ball, flag, first down Chiefs, they get a fresh set of downs, end up scoring a touchdown.
Of course.
To go up by, it ended up being 30-23 at that point. And the only reason that it was 7 instead of 8 is because they missed, that kicker missed again. I think it was a miss. Either way. So it changed the whole thing. Now the Raiders need a touchdown. Time was taken off the clock. I say this all to say this. The last time that play or that call was made in the same situation, defensive holding on a field goal was made against the Raiders in 2015.
In a parallel universe.
By the same referee.
In a parallel universe.
Right. So what are the odds of that? I'm not even claiming shenanigans because I'm not going to go there. Shenanigans. You can. I mean, I
Well, okay. Just taking everything away. That is the most odd call in the first place to happen one time.
Yes. Vic, take it away here.
But when it happens again, not just the call, but the same ref.
Right.
The same team.
Yes.
But that call is never really made.
Right.
It's a very unicorn-like call.
Yeah.
A one-of-a-kind call.
Definitely.
Like
you gotta, yeah.
So the oddity in it would be that call, that very odd and rare call, was made again with the same team by the same guy. And you have to really ask yourself. Just look at
Vic
the facts.
is asking the questions, not me, you guys.
Yeah, you have to ask yourself when a call like that is made, not once but twice, and it is not a normal call that is usually made, and it's by the same guy, it's to the same team, it's against the same team. I'm going to leave it there, everyone. I don't want to draw any conclusions. Here's the pen. You draw them yourself.
Right.
And I'm off.
Yeah, so changed everything. It changed the way the Raiders...
I can't believe it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if you look... Here's the thing. I could have seen if, he bear hugged him and threw him to the ground, and it's blatant, wow, you're making me make this call right now. You're just serving the... I don't even want to make the call in this situation because it's ridiculous. But you're just telling me, you're tempting me right now, challenging me, taunting me. Are you going to make this call or not? I could see if it was a situation like that. Where you as a referee are going, you gave me no choice, brother. I don't want to out you like this, but you gave me no choice. It was anything but.
After that happened, it was one of those.
Did I just...
Right?
Yeah.
I wonder how many people did the old double take.
Right.
Deja vu.
Yeah, it was, and you kind of felt like being at the stadium, you're giving Patrick Mahomes another fresh set of downs. Of course he's going to take advantage of that. Of course he's going to take advantage of that. And so, just crazy.
Kelce on fire that night.
Travis Kelce had, I want to say, 7 catches for 27 yards.
And 4 TDs.
4 touchdowns.
That guy.
There was a lot of abnormalities in that game.
Yeah, it was. It was interesting.
It was interesting. I think in the bigger picture of things, as frustrating as it was for Raider fans. By the way, the chicken wings are good.
Chicken wings are amazing.
And I think your takeaway is still a good team. No reason to lose hope. No reason to turn the lights out.
Raiders?
Yeah.
Listen, man, you have to understand. I come from New York. I'm a New York Giants fan. I'm one of the people that were told we would never get a team. So I root for the Raiders.
Yeah.
You know, as the second team supporting my local team. And I'm not just saying it because they're my local team. When you lose and you come close and you made a mistake, you're still good.
Right.
That's why it's called a mistake.
Against that team, too, right?
A divisional game, bro.
All right, real talk.
Okay.
New York Giants against the Raiders.
New York Giants against the Raiders this year? Giants now?
No, I'm just saying who you're rooting for. Come on. You have to be.
I'm rooting for my Giants.
Yeah, you got to.
I am.
Yeah.
But I'm also going to pull the card. I want to see a good game.
Yeah, okay.
I don't. I'll put it to you like this. Let me back up on that. I'm sticking with my Giants. However, I want to see a good game. I want to see a shootout.
Yeah.
That would be the perfect scenario.
Right.
And then if the Raiders, but you got to keep in mind, if the Raiders beat the Giants, I'm not going to sit there like the Cowboys beat the Giants.
Right.
I'm not going to go. I'm going to go.
3 straight sleepless nights.
Giants, my guys.
Yeah.
Welcome to my city.
Right.
The boys got you.
I got to check the future schedules to see when the Giants come to town. Last year, the Raiders played the Giants last year in New York because they played the National League or the NFL East. Shared some, so like the Eagles came out here, Washington came out here.
Yeah, Giants have not come out here yet.
No, yeah, I gotta.
It's supposed to be next year, I think.
I'll check that out. That would be great. I'd love to see the Giants out here.
I would love to see the Giants out here.
The Giants, the what is it? The Blue Army. What do they call them? I forget what the fans.
Bleed blue.
Bleed blue. Yes. So, full disclosure, my dad grew up. My dad was a huge New York Giants fan. Huge New York Giants fans. Sad, but great story. When they beat the Denver Broncos in the Super Bowl, my dad's like, I could die a happy man. A year later, he was diagnosed with brain cancer, and he ended up, but I can look back now and say, hey.
He got his football wish?
Oh, he got his football wish. Yeah, got his football wish.
That's important, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Football wishes are important.
Yeah. It's because nothing's ever, guaranteed. Like, I grew up a Minnesota Vikings fan. There's always been, like, they would get to the Super Bowl, but they would never close it out. They're just snake bit on so many. So there's no guarantee. Remember the Red Sox went all those years without getting to the World Series.
The Roger Clemens years, Bill Buckner.
All from basically since they sold Babe Ruth to the Yankees. It was cursed. That was why they called the curse of the Bambino. Well, they went years and years and years. They finally broke through and won a World Series, coming back on the Yankees.
But you lived in New York then, yeah?
No, I was in. But a funny story about that, or interesting story about that, is that lifelong Boston Red Sox fan who lived and died, and of course mostly died because the Red Sox would always break his heart. He's in Italy, monitoring the World Series, or monitoring at that point the ALCS against the Yankees. The Red Sox are down 2-0. 0-2. All right? He's driving in Italy, gets into a car accident, goes into a concussion. The Red Sox come back and beat the Yankees. They might have been down 3-0. Something crazy happened in that series where they came roaring back to beat the Yankees.
What year?
The first 2004 or somewhere along there, where the Red Sox finally broke through. They get to the World Series and they win the World Series
After the Wade Boggs era.
Yeah. This was.
This wasn't Wade Boggs Mattingly swing out.
No, definitely not.
Which was awesome.
This was Pedro Martinez and Derek Lowe. Like it was that era of right in the middle of the Yankees also run.
I'm remembering, because I'm more Mets than
There you go.
Yeah, I'm like you, Vin.
I'm definitely a Met fan. So, long story short, this guy goes into a coma, this lifelong Red Sox fan who had been heartbroken all these years, never got a chance to see his team win the World Series, always somehow, some way fell apart, never got there, never won it. He goes into a coma. He wakes up. They were down, I think 3-0 to the Yankees. They were in a major hole. It was no hope. He goes into this coma. That's the last memory he had. He wakes up to find out that the Red Sox came back on the Yankees and won the World Series, and he's like, but I didn't get a chance to even see it. Like, it didn't, like, you know, how bad must have that been for that guy?
If you were diehard like that?
Yeah, like, you don't have...
That's what you live for?
Yes. And you have no recollection, no memory, because part of sports and being a fan is living and dying and the ups and downs and being able to enjoy in real time these triumphant moments. And you
Right.
have denied that.
Wow.
Somebody, the baseball gods, just did not shine brightly.
It was raining that day.
It was raining that day in Italy.
In Italy.
The
game got
moral of the
rained
story:
out.
be careful when you're driving in Italy or anywhere for that matter.
And Vin wants to take me to Italy. And,
Yes,
And then he
he's got-
starts
come
it with,
on.
I'm going to take you to Italy, and then ends it with, be careful.
Man, this is the last thing we'll say. The last time I was in Italy, the Amalfi Coast, which is beyond beautiful, gorgeous, everything. It's just like, it's so spectacular. But this was in 2021, so it was coming out of the pandemic, right? My family and I, we go there. I have a cousin that was taking us all around. Shout out to Enrico, my beautiful cousin. I love you. Taking us to all these great restaurants and all the great places. Everywhere we would go, restaurant-wise, in Italy, at the Amalfi Coast right there, right after the pandemic, they would hear our accents. The waiters, the cooks, the people would be coming out. They'd thank you for coming back to Americans. Because they had gone a whole year with no travel, no tourism.
So
They
it
were
slowed
like,
down for them.
Oh.
They see us wear their sunshine, like, all right, we're back in business.
yeah, they're like, because they were worried that we weren't, that Americans were
So
going to
they're seeing us again, and they're like, welcome back.
They're like, it was so genuine. Like hugs and pictures.
It was real.
Yeah. And you realized how important tourism and, you know, that all is. That's how they in that part of Italy, on the Amalfi Coast, it's all tourism, but it's not touristy too. It kind of is, but it's like,
me.
yeah, you gotta go, folks. Come on, let's get Vic to Italy, to the homeland. All right,
GoFundMe.
we're gonna. Yeah, there you go.
Vic Italy Fund.
We're gonna make that happen. We're gonna make that happen, my best. All right, so thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting. Hit the subscribe button, please. We enjoy doing this. We enjoy bringing you stories about our life, stories about Las Vegas. We're going to get really deep into some things as the future goes on. Talk stories about the Raiders, obviously, and the NFL and sports, and just anything that really kind of pops into our head.
Yeah, guys, this is only the beginning. You know, we're kind of just starting to get it out. You know, as time goes on here, we're going to be covering a lot of stuff. We're going to even have some great people come by and talk about some amazing stuff that everybody probably wants to hear about.
And we're going to give you tips on Las Vegas. Who doesn't want to come to Las Vegas? Come on.
Tell you where to eat.
Tell you where to eat, tell you where to drink, tell you the hidden secrets, the down low that maybe most of the tourists don't know about, but we'll be able to hook you up with. And so we're going to be here for you. We're happy about that. We're excited about that.
I am. I'm very excited to share the wealth.
Same here.
Yeah. Vinny,
Great.
thank you.
Talking to you. You likewise. Raiders are on a bye week. By the time we get back next week, it'll be on to the Denver Broncos, on to the Houston Texans are coming to town. Can you remember the Texans coming to town?
Oh, they're going to buzz all right through those guys.
Yeah, I think that should be a decisive win.
Texans can go either way. They're scrappy.
They're scrappy
But the Raiders, man, coming off of a bye.
and desperate with talent.
You know Carr.
Yeah.
Once he takes a little rest.
Ooh, okay. Spent a lot of time in Houston. Remember his brother, David Carr, played with Houston.
And Giants. That's how I know.
That's
Back
right.
up.
Exactly. All right, so thank you very much. We'll see you guys next week.
Be good, guys.